Thank you for staying with us on Citizen Sunday Live. The late Prime Minister Raila Odinga's Africa Union Commission chairmanship bid is among key highlights that defined the year 2025. The February 15th continental elections held at the AU headquarters in Addis Ababa literally became the focus of the country's political agenda. 7 months later, 15th October 2025, Raila Odinga passed on, bringing to an end his charismatic and influential political career. In our My Year series tonight, Citizen TV's senior reporter Seth Olale revisits late Raila Odinga's journey to the AU in Addis Ababa to his final resting place at the Kang'o Kajaramogi, Bondo Siaya County.
Wakenya wanatarajia mengi kutoka Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Tuna wenzetu Seth Olale, Olive Barros na Stephen Leto ambao watatupatia taarifa kamili kutoka Ethiopia kule ambapo marais wamejumuika.
There was a lot of movement from the Kenya side where we had President William Ruto exit and enter the chamber several times.
Kwa na Stephen Leto na Seth Olale Ethiopia, lakini naona kwamba imerudi, tuwasikilize wanachokizungumza.
Kwa hivyo hebu tuangalie makarani wetu wanasemaje, manake makarani wamekuwa very busy.
This particular assignment was a high-stake, high-level. Actually, the local politics had come, to a halt because now focus was on AUC.
They sent the former president of Nigeria, His Excellency Olusegun Obasanjo, to come and approach me to see if I would be willing. And after soul searching, I agreed.
And that is the launch of the Raila Odinga for AUC chairmanship.
We were all confined, at the media center, and so it was very busy. Everyone running around just trying to get the moment.
So this is the media center of the Africa Union. This is where dozens and dozens of journalists camp here just to file their stories on time. And it has been an incredible week of intense editing. And we also have a sound booth at the end of this particular building. This is where the action has been taking place.
This had been now the epic, the climax following, a year-long campaign period for the candidates who had been cleared by the Africa Union Commission Secretariat. We were able to set up our open-air studio just within the Africa Union Commission, where we did our live links across all the rural media services stations, but also we were doing also some interviews. Just 2 days before the D-Day, that is February 15th, the election, President William Ruto arrived with a delegation that had very senior state officers, including the head of the National Intelligence Service, that was Nurdin Haji, and other high profile government officials, including the Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi. There were also, politicians, members of parliament that had come. There were governors. Ordinary Kenyans had also gathered, outside the Africa Union Commission headquarters because they were not accredited, and they were singing, dancing. Tunakupenda sana,
Afrika mzima tunakupenda sana. Utatuongoza vyema. Utaongoza vyema. Afrika mzima utaongoza vyema. Tawala Raila, tawala. Tawala Raila, tawala. Afrika mzima tawala Raila, tawala.
Remember, just the day before the election, the head of state, President William Ruto, was really busy shuttling from, one continental engagement to another. There was a lot of, lobbying going on the sidelines, behind the scenes. And also at that particular moment, I remember having engagements with the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Musalia Mudavadi, and the Principal Secretary for Foreign Affairs, that is Dr. Sing'oei Korir, who actually, was upbeat that, Kenya has done a tremendous job in as far as preparing the candidates, the late former Prime Minister, and they were looking forward to a very successful election outcome. On the election day, President William Ruto arrived in the same presidential limousine with Kenya's candidate, the late Raila Odinga, at the Nelson Mandela plenary.
Kenya media, the president's media. President, Kenya's media? Kenya's media? No media.
Finish.
Wait till they enter.
So everyone was busy. The journalists were trying to get a glimpse of, the candidates, the three of them, even as they made their way to the Nelson Mandela Hall or plenary, where the voting exercise was just about to get underway. The stakes were high. There was a lot of anxiety, expectations. We camped the entire day getting these rival shots.
Quite interesting here because we have the Djibouti AUC candidate, Mr. Mohamed Yusuf. Quite an interesting and important day for you, sir.
Yeah, it's a great day.
What do you want to tell, members of the African Union?
Good luck to everyone.
Good luck to everyone. That is the Djibouti Africa Union Commission candidate. That is Mr. Mohamed Yusuf.
The African Union Commission chairperson who will be elected, either Raila Odinga, Richard Randriamandrato, or Mahmoud Ali will chair the commission and will have his secretariat.
Looking at his face, he looks bright and he looks, lobbying, doing a last-minute lobbying, and of course we are hoping the last-minute lobbying could give Raila Odinga, an upper hand. You took some notes. You were very busy on your laptop. What did you gather out of this, Olive?
A lot was said. Internationally, if you look at the Palestinian situation.
When the election was ongoing inside the Nelson Mandela plenary, we had sources who we had established, and they kept on relaying the results. And I remember we were live with my colleague Stephen Leto in Addis, giving updated results and information in regards to what was happening just right behind us inside the plenary.
Kulingana na yale ambayo tumepata, raundi ya kwanza Raila Odinga ameongoza kwa kura 20. Raundi ya pili Raila Odinga ameongoza kwa kura 22. Kisha tuna sasa raundi ya tatu ambayo tunangoja, tushapokea matokeo lakini tunangoja verification. Yani manake sisi tunataka kwamba matokeo ambayo tunakudondolea hapa kutoka makao makuu ya AUC hapa nje ya ukumbi wa Nelson Mandela Plenary ni matokeo ambayo yamepitiwa si mara moja, si mara mbili, si mara tatu, bali yamepitiwa na asasi tofauti kuhakikisha kwamba tumepata ile tunaita the correct, sijui kwa sababu Ramogi pia wanatutizama, sijui kwa Ramogi utaita aje, the correct information.
Kaka otimore.
Yani tunataka kaka otimore.
Unfortunately that was short-lived because later on it is the Djibouti candidate who carried the day.
Mtazamaji, ni taarifa ambayo inakujia hivi sasa ni kwamba Raila Amolo Odinga amepoteza. The Kenya's candidate for the chairperson of the Africa Union Commission has lost the Africa Union race.
The late Raila Amolo Odinga came out of that plenary looking somehow calm, relaxed, and in fact, even the speech he gave, the short speech he gave afterward, where he, at the moment, he conceded defeat.
And therefore, myself conceding defeat, and I want us to use this as an example of strengthening democracy in our continent.
Kucha, come, follow me. Kucha, come. William, come.
Already there was an after party that had been organized in honor of the late Raila Amolo Odinga.
So it's back home from Addis Ababa. We're now heading to the airport. Normal day, a fine day here in Addis Ababa. See, traffic is flowing. Just a normal weekday, but it's a wrap for us. Adios, Addis Ababa.